Hello, another Pilates class for you. Let's hope I can get the full hour in. As always, do the options you feel comfortable with, work at your own pace, pause, stop at any point, pop on some nice relaxing music and let's get going. So stand yourselves up, find a little bit of space, get yourself into neutral first of all, feet underneath hips, even balance between toes and heels, soft into the knee. Check your hips are facing forwards, go for that little curve through the hips if you need to. Find your good position. Grow tall through the spine. Relax the shoulders back. Breathe in through the nose. Breathe out through the mouth. Start to engage the core. Pull the belly button in. Feel it tighten. Lift through the pelvic floor. Holding it all in, release so it's just held, and we're ready to move. Breathe in, and as you breathe out, float the arms in front. Then open the arms to the side, shoulder height, and control it down. So start just by thinking about your breath. Make the breath work with the move. Relax at the shoulders and feel the back, the chest, the shoulder joint. Lift and lower those arms. As the mind focuses, we change it a little. One arm moves forward as the other arm still opens to the side. So you get the L shape, and then you switch, other arm in front, other arm to the side. Keep the hips nice and still, but feel maybe a little movement at the shoulders. A twist into the spine to allow those shoulders to turn a little. If the brain allows, the arm that's going to the side goes all the way up into the air. Just the arm to the side. One more time. Release it down. Shoulder roll and set. Keep nice and soft into the knee. Hold core tight. Breathe in, and as you breathe out, a rotation. Push the shoulders round so the chest turns, not all the way to the side, but into the corners of the room. Hips as much as possible facing forwards, so it's just that upper body rotating, warming into the spine, the waist. Last time, bring it to centre, relax, still with that softness at the knee. This time the hips move, so shoulders stay still. Push the hips forward to the side, behind, forwards, and circle it round. Allow the knees to bend and lengthen. Then circle the other way. You might not be able to circle very big, so just find what's comfortable for you. Isolating through the waist. Any back problems, keep it small, but still try and move. One more. Bring it to the centre. Legs go wider, ready for our squats. Wide as you feel comfortable as always. Tall through the body. As you breathe in, bend and sit. Breathe out and lengthen. So keep it going. Sideways view. Knees travel slightly forward. Hips go down and back. So you should see that my spine stays long and in line with the hips. And I only get that tip forward because that's what the hips are doing. Feet stay flat to the ground. And as I squeeze and lengthen back up, I bring the hips back into neutral. Let the arms drift in front. You go as low as comfortable. Bum in line with knees is kind of where we go for. You can go lower, but just to protect at the knee joint. If we only go to there, we know we can get back up. Feel fine? As you rise with the legs, lift the arms open and circle. Breathe in, breathe out, some lengthen. One more time. Release. Bring it in and ready for the balance. So reset yourself. Tall feet underneath hips. Engage through the core. Breathe in, and as you breathe out, one leg, travel slightly forward to the side and take it behind. Back into the middle, other leg. Get the balance, touch the floor if you need to. If you feel you can, let the toe just float off the ground. So the body stays tall as you go forwards and side. As the leg starts to go behind, you get the tip. So engage in the core and let the body move as one. Almost as if you've got a board attached to the back of the body. As the leg then goes back, it hits the board and travels, makes the body push forwards. So you can only ever keep nicely in line. Arms if you want, whether they're just open to the side for balance, or if you start to add that movement. The arms do what the legs do. So you can start to get fairly high in front, lifting as far as comfortable. Out to the side, it depends on what your hips allow you to do. So don't open too wide. If you start to feel yourself lean to the side, you've gone higher than the hips allow. And then you can go as far behind as you want. Soft into the knee and see if you can travel it further. For those that are quite good at this one, feel free to pause behind and see if you can bend and then lengthen that leg. Sideways view for that one. Circle it round so you get your balance and see if you can lower. The extra challenge with that, as you lower, you kind of leave the foot where it is and you get a dive. One more each side if you can. If you're just bringing the foot off the floor, it's fine. If that's working for you, then you're working. Bring the feet back to the middle and a little loosen out. So come down to one end of your mat, or whatever you're using. I disappear off the screen. I'll do the roll downs here and then I'll go to my mat. Tall through the body, couple of rolls. Engage, breathe in as you breathe out, chin to chest, curl through the spine. Gradually sink yourself. The weight of that upper body dragging you towards the floor. Push down into the hole of the foot and roll back up. Hips to neutral, then feel the spine lengthen. So imagine in the spine, maybe like a string of pearls. As one starts to round, it then drags the next. One at a time, curving but moving together. So they flow. Softness at the knee, so you don't put any tension into the joints. Only go as far as you feel comfortable. Work at your own pace. When you get to the top this time, lengthen, reset, think about your neutral, and we're ready to come to the ground. We're going to come down onto all fours. As always, I don't mind how you get to the floor. Please feel free to get yourself down now however you want to, if you can. One more roll down. I'm going to move on to my mat. Down to plank if you can for the challenge, and then to all fours. So whenever you're ready, start to roll. Curve, This time you hang at the bottom. Bring the hands to the ground however you need to and start to walk it forward. Come straight to all fours or lengthen into the plank. Engage at the core, shoulders away from the ears. Breathe, hold if you can. And in your own time, let the knees come to the ground and walk yourself into all fours. So knees underneath hips, hands underneath shoulders. We're going to go for swimming. So you aim to keep the spine nice and long, so don't let the belly button drop. Don't go for a curve. Try and get somewhere where you've got a nice tabletop back. I can hyperextend my elbows, you can see they kind of slightly bend the opposite way. Make sure you keep them soft. So don't think, oh, I've not got that slight curve in the wrong direction. Just that little softness at the elbow. So you're not locking out. Start with arms. Move to legs, then add the two together. So keep the whole body still. Breathe in, and as you breathe out, just try and get one hand off the ground. If you can start to move it forward, do so. Bring it back and change to the other hand. Whole body still. It's only that arm moving. So your shoulders stay parallel to the ground. The back and hips stay still. Feel the core tighten, the change of weight between one and the other hand. Struggle with your wrists. You can come back to a fist position if you prefer. That just keeps the wrist a little bit more in line. If you really do struggle, you can come down to all fours and it's can just get in, elbow off the ground. Maybe open out to the side rather than trying to lengthen in front. But make sure you don't twist the shoulder. Always stays parallel to the ground. Feeling you can cope, hands stay still and you go for legs. Slide that foot away. So hold the hips as still as you can. It's not just about the change of weight between the knees. It's also into the hands. So hold the hips still. Keep those shoulders down the back. And then think, breathe out. Breathe it in. What are you doing with the leg? Are you trying to get as high as possible into the air? It's not about height, it's about lengthening. So slide that foot along the ground. And see if you can really reach towards the skirting board behind you. As you start to reach, you'll feel a little squeeze into the glutes. You lift very, very slightly until you get the full tightening. That should keep the back nice and long and still. And then you find where your hip allows you to go. When you feel that lengthen, you can add the two together. So the ultimate is to go for the lengthened arm and lengthened leg, keeping the back still. If you struggle with shoulders, then just getting the hand off the ground and maybe concentrating on the lengthened leg is fine. Concentrate on the spine. It stays long and still. Think about the belly button. Does it drop as you try and lift? Remember, it's not a lift, it's a reach. One more each side if you can. When you're done, ease. Sit it back, stretch it out. If you do struggle with your wrists, please release them, ease it out. And when you're ready, sit yourself up, facing the front. Sitting on the seat bones, so tall through the body. Feet go a little bit wider if you can. So we've done the spine extension in one of the classes before. If you feel you can keep yourself on your seat bone and lengthen through the spine, then feel free to lengthen the legs. If at any point you feel yourself roll back, bend the knees and bring yourself back upright again. You don't have to keep your legs there. You can bring them in. You can go for cross-legged if that feels more comfortable for you. Find your good start position. The saw. It starts with the spine rotation. Take the arms out and relax the shoulders. I've just realised sitting here now how white my top looks. Relax the shoulders. Thumbs face up, you don't have to hold them up, but thumbs are up, palms are facing in front. It's a twist. Watch if you want to first. Breathe in, and as you breathe out, turn the chest towards your leg. Arm comes in front, and 3 little pulses as you breathe out. Lengthen tall into the middle. Turn the chest, arm comes in front. 3 little pulses. So it's not a huge turn. Hips are anchored to the ground. And you're just thinking about turning the upper body. If you're turning and think, I could turn my chest further, then try going for legs a little wider. The arm comes in front, pointing down, probably down the leg if you've turned your chest to face the leg. If you are going for straight legs, aim for the big toe. Can quite nicely twist towards the big toe. You turn and try and turn a bit further. Can you aim for the little toe? Again, if you can aim quite nicely and twist past the little toe, with the arm in front of the chest, then go wider. I can reach further on that side, but I can't do it on this side. So if you find you're the same, you can just about get to the little toe one side, but you can quite easily get past the little toe on the other. Concentrate on the side you struggle with. Lengthen in the middle, but keep those shoulders relaxed. And it's called the saw, because as you bounce, as you pulse, you saw down your leg. It's about aiming towards the feet. Don't worry if you don't touch. Do what you can. We're working the waist, we're working into the sides of the back, but you may also feel it into your hips, thighs, legs. Stop if it hurts. If it's gonna cramp, stop. If you're really struggling with your legs, bend the knees, bring those feet in, maybe go to cross-legged. Engage and lengthen. You do kind of switch your stomach off as you reach, but try not to. Engage and keep hold. One more time if you can. Turn. Lengthen tall into the middle and relax it all down. Bring those legs in. You might want to just release forwards. If it is the sides of the back that's aching, take yourself across, maybe open the feet a bit wider and get a stretch into your side. And take the other shoulder across, stretch into your side. If it's more legs that are aching, bring the hands behind, maybe just a little wriggle out in front, maybe more of a twist, also releases into the waist. Hold that spine long and just allow yourself to ease from side to side. So we get to lay down now. Take time, bring yourself to laying on your side. So the lower arm relaxes. If you prefer, pass something else underneath, grab a pillow, grab a cushion off your settee, whatever you want to make it comfortable for you. Get that neck long. Top shoulder away from the ear, hips are facing forward and the legs are long and in line. We're going to go for the clamp. So allow the knees to bend. They travel forward as the heels slide towards your bum. Can't come round and check this one. So if you want, prop yourself up a little and look down the hip. You should see the foot in line with your hip. If your feet are far too forwards, then obviously you're not in line with the hip. If they're going behind, you'll feel more of a stretch there and you'll see them sticking out. Feet in line with the hips. And get yourself back down. Hand can go wherever it likes. It can stay there, it can come down the side. Place it behind. Make sure that the arm stays against the back. So you keep your shoulders in line, pointing up towards the ceiling. Switch on, breathe in, and as you breathe out, just the top knee, squeeze, and bring those knees back together. Breathe in on the way down. So your hips stay still. It may not be a huge move, and I think I managed to pick the right side first because I can't go very far on this one. To go any further, I really want to move my hips. I want to roll back, but it's not a roll back, it's a hold with the stomach and get that outer thigh working. It's actually part of the glutes, but you do feel the outer and inner thigh working too. Make the inner thigh work harder as you bring the legs close. Let them touch. It kind of looks like I've relaxed, but I haven't. And just holding the knees close. I feel the legs are touching, but they never relax. Let the leg relax. The lower leg, that is. Let the feet relax. If you get a burning sensation into that outer thigh, then stop. If it's just a warm glow, try 2 or 3 more. Tighten through the stomach. Take your time. When you've done your last one, allow those legs to relax. Let that top knee come forward and give it a little ease. When you're ready, roll yourself onto your back. So in a comfortable position, if you need it, let the leg you've just been working cross over. Maybe you just want to push it out wide, that gets you stretched. Maybe you can bring that other leg in and release. So we are going to do the other leg, but before we get there, laying on your back. Single leg stretch. So reset yourself. Hips are towards the ceiling, you've got that little gap underneath the lower back. Let the arms relax at your side. Options, if you do know the single leg stretch, please feel free if you want to start with the legs in the air. Knees over the hips, engaging the core straight away. Keep the back and hips in position. Lower back should just be touching the floor with the feet up. If you want to start with me, and feet to the ground, then the little gap underneath the lower back so you keep your hips pointing the ceiling. Hold through the stomach, breathe in, and as you breathe out, one leg starts to move away. Then bring it back. So with the feet on the ground, it's just trying to lengthen that leg as long and as close to the ground as you can, whilst keeping the hips and the back still. You may touch the ground again, but don't relax it there. Feel that we're holding here, that you're getting the stretch into the front of the leg. And as you bring that foot back in, gently place it to the ground. Try not to put too much weight onto that foot. It's there, but don't let it help. If you want to bring the legs into the air, remember, lower back just touching. Keep it where it is. Option 1. You take the foot towards the ground with the knees bent. Doesn't have to touch. Now you've got the weight of both legs in the air, so it's going to pull more into the abdominal area. You might also feel the pull into your back, because whenever we work one muscle, we work its opposite muscle, which is the back in this case. But when we're working our stomach muscle now, you're also working your core. So the core helps support the back. Feel it into the stomach more than the back. Feeling fine? Then you can start to lengthen that leg. Spread the weight of your leg away from the body. Maybe start by lengthening it up. Feeling fine, keeping that back still. Then see if you can lengthen a little further towards the ground. Now try and make it be an out and an in, rather than a lengthen up and lower down. Different move. We're aiming to stretch. So hold tight with the stomach and lengthen that leg away. So that's, in theory, the top option for the legs. Struggling. Feeling the stomach shake. A stomach shaking is a stomach. Go back to bent knees. Go back to lengthening a little higher into the air. Or maybe go back to the feet on the ground. If you can manage to lengthen but feel a little pull into the lower back, you can make the stomach work harder by holding yourself into a curled position. So now the stomach really has to support and it keeps the back to the ground. I find this one a little easier because I do struggle with my back and my back is quite curved. So holding in this position keeps the lower back to the ground, makes my stomach work a lot harder, but takes the tension out of my back. You might find it puts more tension into your back, so don't do it. If you do need it, use a hand as a headrest. Remember, you rest the head into the hand. If you can manage 2 more, whatever level you choose, if you're still with 1 foot on the ground, it's fine. If you're feeling it, then you're working. Take your time to finish your last one. Bring it in. Let the feet come to the ground. Relax it all out. Lengthen and stretch into the stomach and down the front of the leg. If you did feel any aches into the back, feel free to bring the knees in and give yourself a little stretch there too. So we're going to move into the clam on the other leg. So if you want, just roll yourself to face the back, away from the screen. I was going to say away from the front. Whatever your front is, that's where the screen is. I'm going to turn around so you can still see what I'm doing. If you want to turn around so you can still see the screen, then do so. To get yourself lengthened off again. Use whatever you need under your head. Shoulders stacked, hips are facing forwards, heighten through the stomach. Legs are in line to start. That makes sure you get a good neutral spine. Then it's the bend of the knee and the heels slide towards the bum. Want to check? Push yourself up, look down the hip. Can you see the feet? Too far forward, too far back. Move the feet around. Bring yourself back down. Hand wherever you need it. Make sure if you are going behind that the elbow stays close in. So if you go too far back, shoulder rolls, you lose your good position. Engage. Feet relaxed. Breathe in. And as you breathe out, just the top knee. Touch, but no relaxing. So within the body, obviously lots of muscles. We think about muscles as one particular area, but actually within each area there are several muscles that help
that bit of the body move in different directions. So at the minute we're aiming to help the muscle at the side of the bum cheek. It is still part of the bum muscle. The gluteus maximus is the back one. This one's a little one called the piriformis. But our muscles all help each other. So as the piriformis lifts and turns the leg, you're also opening out, so the outer thigh is working as well. On the way back down, it's the inner thigh supporting, but gravity brings it down. So actually the outer thigh works harder, and that piriformis to slowly bring it together. Majority of our muscles only really contract when you move them. However, the glutes, the bum cheeks, you can squeeze them. So as you lift, start to tighten the glutes. Might not feel like it squeezes much, but you'll suddenly feel a bigger tightening, maybe a bigger warmth into that muscle we're aiming to work. As the glutes squeeze, it pulls around. Also, as you squeeze into the glutes, it helps to hold the hips in a good position, because our glutes are a good stabilizer for the hips. Burning. Feels like it's going to cramp. Stop. Warm sensation. Give me 2 more. If you're not feeling anything yet, what are you doing? Are you just sat watching? Final one. If you need it, lift, hold, squeeze, feel the burn before you slowly release. I can't hold it long, I've already got the burn. And relax it. Bring it in front. Ease it, massage it, hit it, whatever you need to loosen it off. And when you're ready, you can roll yourself onto your back to stretch that other leg. So again, get yourself comfy, cross that leg over. Maybe you just want to push it wider, opening it out. Maybe just slide that foot on the ground a little closer, or bring it off the ground if you need to. Relax the hips, relax the legs, ease into it. So we did the single leg stretch, which was about taking the leg away and getting that pull into the front of the leg. We're going to go for the scissor. Now you've got to make the feeling of the scissor different. As the name suggests, you're going to be scissoring. One leg moving one way as the other leg moves the other way. As we build it, make sure you don't end up going into a single leg stretch. I'll explain hopefully as we go along. Relax the arms. I do apologise if mine start to go out to the side. It's because I suddenly think you need to see my lower back, what it's doing, and I end up moving the arms out of the way. Feel free just to relax them there. That helps to keep your shoulders in a better position. Neutral. Feel free again to start with me. If you know the scissor and you want to start with both legs up into the air, do so. Relax. If you do want to go with feet on the ground, you can work a little harder by thinking about getting a pelvic tilt. So breathe in, and as you breathe out, you start to bring one knee into the chest. Push the belly button down and slowly bring it to the ground, other foot. So your knee stays bent. It doesn't change the angle. You're just bringing that knee in, the thigh towards the chest, and then moving the thigh away. And I say if you do relax one foot to the ground, you can start to get that tilt of the hip. Pushing the belly button down, letting the hips roll. I'm going to move my arms so you can see. And you can get the leg a little closer. You can only go for the roll if you've got one foot on the floor. However, think about relaxing that foot that's still on the ground. If you feel like the lower back is coming off the floor, like your bum is lifting in the air, what you are doing is lifting one foot, pushing into the foot on the ground and going there. Not what we're looking for. Knee into chest with maybe a little roll at the hips. Feeling fine. Want a little more. Bring the knee into the chest. Hold. Engage the core and keep the hips and back still now. As you breathe out, change legs. Now whether you let one foot relax to the ground, gives your stomach a slight relax, but does mean you've got to pull it tight before you switch. Or don't touch the ground. Let the foot get as close to the floor as possible, but without relaxing. So your stomach doesn't get the release, it doesn't get the breather. You've got to keep it held. If you find the lower back starts to hurt, place one foot back on the ground. So you're trying to get the legs as far apart as possible. Think about it being the thigh. Don't worry what the foot's doing. So one thigh's trying to get into the chest as the other thigh moves away. With the legs bent, obviously you get to that point where the foot comes to the ground. So don't force the foot to the ground. Don't let the foot come in to think, I've got to get my foot to the floor. Keep the same bend at the knee all the time. If you're feeling fine, and please ignore what I'm about to say if you've already got to where it's working. Bring both legs into the air and lengthen them if you can. Now move the legs very slightly away so you feel the pull into the stomach and you've got that angle away from the body. Holding. As one leg starts to move towards the chest, the other leg moves towards the floor, and switch. They stay lengthened. They both move. And you're aiming to get the furthest distance between the legs. Whether you just try to get one leg as close into the chest, maybe try and get the other leg as close to the ground, I don't mind, but you try and split your legs. Hold with the stomach. Four more if you can, whether you go back to the bent knee, whether you go for the leg on the ground. Find what works best for you. And if you can manage, final four. I think I've already said that final four, haven't I? Do one more and then relax. Ease it, lengthen and stretch. We've got one more move. I'm not sure if it's going to record it or not. I think I'm showing low battery. Reset yourself, the 100. Please use the stretch and relaxation little one if I do run out of battery. I do apologise, I was on about 80% when I started. Bring the arms to your side. The 100, it's about holding a crunch. You've got two options. You can either go for a pelvic tilt. Push the belly button to the ground and feel the hips curl. You can go for the pelvic tilt but with the legs in the air. You curl, you hold. It's not a pulse, it's a hold. Option 2, you curl your shoulders up instead. Push the belly button to the ground, relax the shoulders and hold. Breathe. Now the aim is to go for 100 counts, and it's the counts to go with the breath. You go for a little flap of the hands. You breathe in for 5 flaps, that's half a count. You breathe out for 5 flaps, now you've got a full count. So that's 3 I've done so far. You breathe and flap at whatever pace you need. So you try and control your breath. Push the belly button down, relax the shoulders and feel the rib cage pulling in. So it's the stomach holding you in position. Find your neck starts to hurt, then feel free to place the hand behind and squeeze. It's not a pull the head in, it's let the head relax onto the hand. Stomach then holds you up. Breathe. We're here for a while. The 100, when I've done it a couple of times, it's taken me around 5 minutes. Now if you breathe faster than me, you'll probably take a bit shorter. If you breathe slower than me, you'll take longer. It's a challenge to see how far you can get. So don't worry if you have already given up. Don't worry if you're thinking, I can't keep going, but I want to keep working, and you've moved into the lower squeeze, gone for the pelvic tilt instead. Maybe you're there and thinking, well, I could keep this going for ages. Get your legs off the ground. Maybe you're still feeling fine. Lengthen the legs away. Find where you feel the pull. Breathe. Do what you need. I can't talk and keep my legs out. Keep yourself going. Breathing in, breathing out. You just say low battery, but hopefully we can keep it going and get to the end. So you might be thinking, I've no idea how many I've counted now. Don't worry. This is one for you to practice on your own at some other point. So I can keep waffling for a little bit. You've got 5 fingers on your hand. Rather than just flapping the whole hand, you could do 1 finger at a time. So you get that little bit of an action. I don't know if you can see that on the white background. You can see it on the red. You know once you've got from little finger to thumb, you've counted to 5. So you don't have to count to 5 anymore. You've got 2 hands. So you do 5 on that one for your in-breath, 5 on that one for your out-breath, and that's 1 count. A way of doing it without you having to actually count to 5. So you can start to count each breath. And remember, it's an in and an out breath. It's not a pulse, it's a hold. Maybe feeling it there, just under the rib cage, because that's where it's pulling to hold you up. Maybe if you're going for the lower, you're feeling it just below the belly button, because that's the bit of the muscle that's holding you up. Maybe you're going there and you're feeling it in both. Breathe. Relax. Stop whenever you need. If it eases quickly, join back in. If you can't, then just let yourself relax. If you can manage, 2 more in breaths, 2 more out breaths. When you're ready and when you've done, ease it, lengthen and stretch. So hopefully my battery will last. Now we'll attempt a relaxation and stretch. In your own time, let your arms move to wherever they want to go. Let the legs flop. Stay laying, please feel free to sit, roll onto your side if you prefer. Grab yourself a cushion, grab yourself a blanket if you want to. And just breathe. Breathe in at the nose. Breathe out at the mouth. And take a journey through the body. I want you to travel with the blood. Flowing around, travelling to every muscle. As you travel, I want you to start to find the tension within the body. As you flow through the muscle that feels tense, allow it to relax.
As you relax, you sink towards the ground. Travel down the body, round the face, the neck, shoulders, maybe down through the arms and into the hands, down through the chest, the back, through the stomach, the hips, down the legs and into the feet. Then return to the places where you're still feeling some tension. Dig deep now. Let that blood flow right into the heart of the muscle. Find where you're holding the tension. The muscles, you can imagine like lots of tiny strings all hanging next to each other. Hundreds, millions of them. And you're searching those few strings that have tangled, maybe slightly knotted together. If you pulled quickly at that knot, you tighten it. As the blood flows through, you gently ease that knot, loosening it, relaxing it, allowing the knot to drop away. Search the body for those knots. Find it. Slowly relax it. Maybe you hold tension around the neck, the shoulders. Maybe it's more through the hips, maybe into the lower back. As you feel the body relax, the breath starts to slow. Maybe focus on the breath now and how you relax as you breathe out. Maybe relaxing and focusing just on the music that you have playing. Maybe allow yourself to float away to a place you can relax. Maybe you're on a beach, maybe in a wood, maybe in a field, maybe you're somewhere that's snowing. Find your place and allow yourself to get lost there. And slowly take your time. Be aware of your breath. Feel the in-breath now. Feel that air flow back into the body. Feel that blood flowing back around, all the way down to the hands and the feet. Slowly start to move the fingers, the wriggle of the toes. And when you feel fine, allow the arms maybe to open out and relax to the ground, maybe in a T shape, maybe in a Y shape, or maybe you can take them up above the head, but let them relax to the ground. If you're sat, then just give yourself a big stretch. If you're laying on your side, if you are sat and don't mind laying back down, and come to laying, feet flat to the ground, knees are bent, let the arms relax to your side, and then slowly bring the knees in and take hold either at the shin or the thigh and give yourself a little hug. Slowly release, let the arms open out, feet come to the ground and the knees roll to one side. Let them relax. As I'll show from the back. Relax the shoulders to the ground, the lower leg flops, top leg can slowly slide a little higher. Use a hand if you want to hold and support. Gently ease it back to the middle. Let the knees travel the other way. Again, shoulders relax to the ground. The lower leg just flops. That top leg can go as far as you need. Relax the hips. Feel the stretch maybe into the outer thigh, maybe into the glutes, the outer glute that we were working earlier, maybe the back. Might even feel it into the chest of the arm opened wide. Ease, bring it back to the middle. And in your own time, sitting yourself up, roll onto one side and push if you need to. Bring the soles of the feet together, as close in as you feel comfortable. Let the arms relax onto the knee or onto the thigh, and just gently ease to the ground. If you're quite flexible, then wriggle your bum so you can tilt the hip a little further forwards and allow the arms to get lower. If you want, you can use hands, but try and let it be the weight of the body that sinks it low. Any knee problems, or if you find you get quite low to the ground with this one, take it out wide and allow yourself to sink there. Takes the tension away from the knee, allows you to relax. Slowly ease, and in your own time, bring yourself up to standing. As you do so, stretch the back of your legs. So bring the feet to the ground if you can. Keep the hands close to the floor and lengthen the legs. Don't mind if you're holding the thigh, if you're holding the shin. Just let yourself feel the stretch into the back of the leg. A bend of the knee, roll it up and bring yourself to standing. When you're there, take a deep breath in, lift, breathe out, reach, engage at the core and just lean very slightly back. Bring it up tall, a little lean to one side. Bring it centre, a lean to the other. Bring it to the middle, release, shoulder roll. And give yourselves a little round of applause. Thank you very much. I hope you feel like you've done something. If you do want to send any comments, post onto my Facebook page. If there's any moves I've not yet done that you really like, please do so. If not, please keep going, keep strong, keep yourself moving, and I hope to see you again soon.